Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mark and Yo at the movies. So, it's been a little bit of time since we went to the movies last, but we did manage to go see a movie this week. At least I did. My wife has seen two movies, so she has another one to talk about. But the movie we want to discuss is The End of Oak Street. So, I'll let you start off first because this was quite an interesting movie. I don't know what else I can say about
Well, this movie had time travel
it. Yeah.
and dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway is in it, and what is it, Matt McGregor?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi was in it. And basically, I don't want to give too much about it, but the street, Oak Street, has been transported back in time. I always say that. And there's dinosaurs roaming around.
Mhm.
Um, so it kind of deals with mainly the one family, a few other people here and there, and trying to figure out what they need to do to get back home to the regular time. So I thought it was an interesting movie. I know it's not making as much money as they thought, and I think mainly it's just because everybody is going to see Spider-Man. I think it came out last week, if I recall,
August 9th.
August 9th, yeah. So it's sometimes when I watch time travel movies, or movies where something major happened to a society. You got people in there, once again, they're fussing. You got people who's trying to survive. You got people that's making stupid and chaotic decisions. And I really felt this way about this movie. I'm watching it and I'm like, why are they doing this? Which doesn't make sense. You're trying to survive. I would think you're trying to get as many people survive. I would think you're trying to help a few people. And they're just making stupid decisions. There's a dinosaur in your backyard. I'm not going to go outside to look for something. I'm going to stay in, but then at the same time, it's day one, and you have, one of the parents like, hey, maybe we should stay. Then you have another parent like, no, what we're going to do? And da, 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 da. It's day one, let's see how long it's going to last. But they definitely made stupid decisions in this movie.
Okay, so uh, it's Jurassic Park with badass would be the way I would describe it. I always thought Jurassic Park was a dumb idea, and I guess this kind of took it to another level because we're going to start off with the year being 1982, is where they come from. So they are living in 1982, and stuff is going on, and then they are transported back millions of years, to the dinosaur age. Now, I always have a problem when it comes with anything dealing with monsters in this situation because you
They're
have
not
to.
monsters, they're
They're
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs who have to breathe, they have to blah, blah,
The
blah.
movie.
So, yeah, there's different things that were happening. I know they explained that it was really hot and they had no power, stuff like that. Ewan McGregor, um, he tried to do his thing, certain things, but he was butting heads with his wife. The kids, I'm not going to say they were being kids because you're old enough to understand. If there's danger outside, you do not go outside
By yourself.
by yourself. And if you're going to take a weapon, especially a bow and arrow, learn how to fire a bow and arrow.
Was that a real bow and arrow? Because I don't think it was when I was
It looked
watching
like
the
a
movie.
kid's
It looked
toy,
like a kid's toy.
but you're going to go outside with the bow and arrow. You should at least know how to fire the bow and arrow So I had issues with that.
At least he was smart enough to take the bow and arrow out.
His sister took a knife. She was way smarter.
She was older.
Yeah, but she knew, oh, I can cut something. But no, he's going to take a bow and arrow that he can't even fire. So, the movie in itself is not too bad. It has some very interesting parts in it, especially, like I said, with the different species of dinosaurs
Yeah.
that were in this, because they did use different species from what you got to see in Jurassic Park. So that to me was interesting. But the story in itself, you watch these people, and it's not just, because they mainly focus on this family, but you got to think about the other families that were in the neighborhood that were also there, and they were doing dumb things themselves. I don't think anybody paid attention to anything in their surroundings. And I think that's just something I've grown up always doing. You listen to things, you look at things, and these people um, were just living their lives like nothing was wrong. So, yeah, it is a J.J. Abrams movie as well, so maybe that had something to do with it. I have to say it was somewhat interesting. I saw it the one time. I may watch it when it's on TV because I did have a few quirks about certain things. But, out of 5 stars, I'm definitely going to give it 1.5 to 2 stars. What about you? What do you think it was?
Um, I like dinosaur movies. I mean, I love Jurassic Park. I mean, I'm wearing my Godzilla shirt right now, but because I do like dinosaurs, I'll probably maybe give it 2.25 stars. Just because I like dinosaurs, but at the same time, they were stupid.
Yeah.
It just I'm just sitting there and I'm like, why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense. Considering it's Oak Street, I thought there should be more residents of Oak Street in it because in one part of the movie they did a view of this big street and it's not just like it's I
It's
would
an
say
entire neighborhood.
a neighborhood.
It
Yeah,
was a
it
huge
was a
neighborhood.
huge neighborhood, and we saw other people there, but considering the movie kind of started with them having a cookout, and there was quite a few people at the cookout, it should have been quite a few people in the movie as the movie progressed. Not
There were.
people.
There were. They were just being eaten.
Yeah, but
So,
still, it should have been more. You got families. If you're looking at the average home, especially back there in the '82, was at least mother, father, 2 kids. It should have been. I'm not saying I'm looking for dead bodies because I know I like that, but it should have been more people or more dead bodies around. It's a big neighborhood.
there was, but I mean, you saw
No, it should have been more.
some of the people were out of town. We'll just say that. But
They just had the barbecue.
yeah. So now it was an okay movie. The concept was pretty interesting. I don't want to spoil anything, but the end had me shaking my head about certain things. So I will leave it at that. As I said, I would only give it 1.5 to maybe 2 stars. But you know, I have nothing else to say about this movie. So if you do get an opportunity to see it, maybe take that chance. Maybe you'll enjoy it more than I do. Ewan McGregor did an interesting job with what he was given. So quite an interesting scene. But yeah, if you must maybe wait till it's on cable, and then let us know what you think. Was it a better movie than I say it was, or not? But that's just my opinion. The next movie that I want to discuss, well, at least my wife is going to talk about, is going to be Six. She went to see this last week, and I will say I have seen it when we were on a cruise. I saw the play when we were on the cruise in Norwegian 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was okay. I would have slept through it had somebody not woken me up when it started. But other than that, it's an interesting story. But tell us what you thought of the actual this movie, which is
Musical.
the musical.
I've seen the musical 3 times. You know, I saw it when we was on the cruise a few years ago. Probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago, it came to Chrysler Hall. So I saw it then, and then I saw it, last week. This is the story of Henry VIII, his wife. Henry VIII is not in the movie. Well, I'll just call it a movie just so I just come out of my mouth. He's not in this at all. It's talking about starting from Catherine to this is the last wife, and the relationship that his wife had with him. How, the first wife, she was married to him for about 22 years, I believe, and of course he found in Berlin, we all know her amazing story. She got her head chopped off. Um, I can't remember all the names. There was two Catherines in Berlin, two Catherines in Berlin. I don't even think of the name of them. But the two of them ended up getting their head chopped off, but it's just in song, I'm just gonna mention all the while. Yeah. Okay, no, go up. The whole premise of the movie is, which is a song, is divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. And those words individually talk about all 6 of his wives. What they went through. And it's not a long play. I mean, I would say an hour, hour and 20, and they're just singing it. It's not a big stage behind. It's just the women coming out. They're in their costumes, and they sing songs together, and then they tell their story in a solo song. So I think it's an excellent show. It came out in 2017, so it's barely 9 years. It came out in Europe, and it's just good. My daughter, she knows all the words to all the songs. I of course know the ones that I really like. But if you like a musical, I definitely suggest seeing it. Mark, only musical that he really cares for is Elvis movie.
Yep.
And there's more to musicals than just Elvis. This one is really, really good. Even the women's, the band behind them was just women. So there's no guys in this movie at all. So I definitely suggest you go and see it. It's good. I'm probably gonna buy a shirt. I've been meaning to do it. I would probably give this. I'll probably give this probably about 4.5 stars. I thought it was that good. Some of the songs are just so catchy, and it was good. It's not on DVD or Blu-ray yet. You can, they do have the stage book, and of course you can go out and buy the CDs. I do have a couple of songs on Spotify. Hopefully they will eventually come out. That picture that we showed is actually the original that did the original play. So I want to say they took this movie from a version of the play that they did like about 3, 4 years ago. So this movie represents the people that actually did it. This musical, there's different versions of it. From, Japan, from, Australia. Each country has a different set of 6 women that's doing it. And when the show starts, they talk about it. They talk about how they felt doing the show, coming back and doing the show for this movie. And I definitely suggest if you like musicals, go and see it. 4.5 stars.
Okay. I can't give it any stars because I never saw it. Um, yeah, I'm looking at it. He did have 6 wives. I remember watching the two, which I enjoyed that show. So this one, Captain of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, and Catherine Howard, and then Catherine Park.
There were three.
There were three Catherine. And yeah, I thought The Tudors was a really good story. So I know about the wives. This was just a lot of singing to me.
It's a
Oh,
musical.
it's a musical. So that would have been the only reason I didn't see it. But the story in itself I love. Um, just the way this is presented was just not my cup of tea. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anything you want to say in closing?
As I say, a lot, just, go to movies, if you don't go to the movies, then I don't see them not making any movies, but, the special effects will be gone because you have to spend money to make money, and then if they don't make the money, they're not going to spend the money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know when we talked about End of Oak Street, which was the okay part movie, it came out with Spider-Man, so I almost kind of wish they would have did this movie earlier or later. I think right now anything that comes out so close to Spider-Man is just not going to do well. And at the same response, I know we got our Avengers Doomsday tickets. We're going in December, and originally Dune and Avengers was coming out on the same day. And when we got our Dune tickets the same week, so I hope I get that day off. It's not important. They gave it an earlier release date where Dune is coming out. Well, the first day is that Tuesday, which we got tickets for, and Avengers is coming out. I guess that Thursday. We got tickets for Friday. I do think sometimes with a movie being so popular, not that I think they should come out with less horror movies during the same time, but I think that's kind of an issue with the end of Oak Street, why a lot of people is not going. They're not going to make that budget. I'm going to be surprised if they did, but that's just because of Spider-Man. And I do believe Avengers is going to blow Dune out the water, no matter how much of a fan I am of it.
Yeah, that's true. I do hope.
Oh, do well.
Yeah, I hope they both do well. Because if they do, then they'll still continue to make movies. Um, sometimes people are saying that they're getting superhero fatigue. I don't know if that's true, but we'll have to see when these come out. I think if you put out a good product, people will go see it.
Yeah.
So that would be the one thing that I would say. And hopefully everybody will give an opportunity to go see that. So we'll end with that. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Please like and subscribe. Anything else in closing?
Nope. I'm going back to work.
All right. So until the next time, we'll see you at the movies.